let's move on to our next topic and let's get into some Superman news because based on this story, the Snyder Bros about to be pretty tight. Now, the saga of Superman's box office run continues with different spins, saying it's good or bad depending on the narrative or observer that it wants to create. Excuse me. Now, James Gunn's Superman is now, well, shout out to Comic Book Movie for this tea, by the way, but I saw other places had it as well. Excuse me. James Gunn's Superman is now the highest grossing solo Superman movie of all time in North America after passing Zack Snyder's Man of Steel at the domestic box office. The DCU reboot is now sitting at around 292 million, officially topping the 291 million Man of Steel took in over the course of its entire full domestic run. If you want to factor inflation in, it says if you want to factor inflation in, 291 million back in 2013 would equal to around $407 million today. It's funny how a couple of years ago, a certain number, or a decade ago, a certain number is double decades later. It's weird how that works. As we know, Superman has not been flying quite as high overseas. Yeah, it's not really doing that well overseas. And it kind of makes me wonder, is Superman not doing well overseas because of the current administration? And how a lot of places around the world despises America, despite the contrary of what the idiot in chief is saying right now, that a lot of people are pissed at America. People look at Superman as a symbol of America, hence why you get a lot of these incels that think that. So with the red, white, and blue and all that other stuff. And people aren't, I guess, seeing Superman as a universal character. So it could be the timing of this movie coming out and the current administration pretty much is doing everything they can to dismantle everything that our founding fathers and many others after them with a brain pretty much put forth for our country to survive and thrive. People are pissed off at America right now and just don't want to watch a Superman movie, even though the movie is pretty much about like showing kindness to people, even those who don't see it for you, which is real hard for a lot of people, including myself, to do. But we do what we do. So this says, as we know, Superman has not been flying quite as high overseas, and still has a long road ahead if it hopes to catch Snyder's movie globally. Superman recently passed the $500 million milestone at the worldwide box office after 18 days in theaters, which basically means like, yeah, they're at $500 million already. Can it reach Man of Steel 670 million? If Superman keeps packing theaters in North America, some analysts believe it could ultimately make up for its international performance, but Forbes feels it's highly unlikely. And you want to know something? No, before I get to the quotes, I actually, no shade, as much as I like this movie, and as much as I thought David Cornswell did a phenomenal job as Superman, it was very much like a comic book brought to life on the big screen. I loved all the razzle dazzle and the colors and everything and what the movie entails. I honestly don't think that it will do well in the long run. Like, it's great that it's domestically doing well, and I feel like it will do domestically. But as far as like internationally, yeah, people aren't seeing it for this movie. And I just don't think in certain countries the movie's even being shown. So I'm gonna have to agree with Forbes. Now, if it turns out that it will surpass and make at least 700 to 750 million, that'll be great. Now, do I think that if it doesn't surpass Man of Steel, does that mean that this is the end of the DCU or Snyder, James Gunn's DCU? No, but I do think that there will be conversations that'll be had by David Zaslav and a lot of the overlords that's working that situation. Like, okay, we got to rethink this whole Superman thing. Like, a little less him getting his ass whooped, and if you're gonna do Superman 2 or whatever you're gonna call it, and you need to add a little more something up in here. But I don't know if they'll figure out what it is that they'll be like, well, what possibly went wrong with Superman? I'm definitely curious. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. What do you think why do you think that Superman is not doing as well as they had hoped? I mean, I know it's had like an uphill battle because of so many different things that was happening regarding, the infighting between the Snyder Bros and what we call the Gunslingers, because we were trying to think of a team name, of what do we call the James Gunn DCU fans? I said the Gunslingers. So We have the Snyder Bros against the Gunslingers, so there was that infighting, and I think there's only a certain group of people that are really back and forth on that. There was a lot of the review bombing and that, a lot of online hate regarding this film, even though people didn't even see it. And it could also be just the fact that people are very much not liking Donald Trump right now, domestically and internationally. Um, and regardless, despite what the maggot cultists will tell you, there are a lot of people in America that are pissed off at this man right now. Look at how increasingly low his numbers are. But then again, even with Donald Trump's numbers being in the shitter, in the toilet, whatever you want to call it. Who that rhyme? I'm a poet and I know it. Um, he still got the Democrats beat because the Democrats are sitting playing possum. They playing dead. They allowing all this BS to happen and playing, acting like the victim because they're not fighters. But if you're not fighters, you need to, as I always say, shit or get off the pot. Move out the way. Move, bitch. Get out the way. If you're not going to do what needs to be done for the sake of the people of this country. They just waiting, for him to just do so bad that people just vote blue no matter who. Even though they don't even follow their own damn motto. But I'll say those politics when we get, I don't want to get too deep into the politics. But what the thing is with this Superman movie, it is political. If you look at a lot of the themes, maybe that's another thing that's hurting it as well, is the fact that some of the political themes that's in it. So that could be it as well. So there could be a plethora of things. So uh what they wound up saying is we're definitely performing better domestically than we are internationally, but internationally is also rising and having really good weekday numbers in the same way we are. This is what Gunn recently said of the movie's box office performance. So obviously the word of mouth is very positive both here and everywhere else, which is the thing that we needed to do the most. At the same time, there are certain countries in which is really performing well. So they said Brazil and the UK is where it's doing relatively well at the international box office. He also says Superman is not a known commodity in some places. He is not a big known superhero in some places like Batman is. That affects things. And it also affects things that we have a certain amount of anti-American sentiment around the world right now. It isn't really helping us. So I think it's just a matter of letting something grow. But again, for us, everything has been a total win. Having the movie come out and be something that has been embraced by people everywhere. This is just the seed of the tree that Peter and I have been watering for the past 3 years. So to be able to have it start off so positively has been incredibly overwhelming. Well, there's parts of this, what he said, I agree with, and there's parts where I'm kind of giving you the side eye. Now, one, I don't know who on planet Earth doesn't even know who the hell Superman is unless you live under the dirt. You don't have access to the internet or television. But I'm sure everybody and their mama know who some damn Superman is. So I'm not even going to go and believe that. Now, how can certain countries know who Batman is but not know who Superman is when you have your trifecta of superheroes, mainly being a part of the Justice League? Everybody know who Superman is. Everybody know who Batman is. Everybody know who Wonder Woman is. A lot of people know who the Flash is. Those are like your big, superheroes from the DCU. There might be some others that you could throw in there, but for the most part, those are the big main ones. People don't even know who Supergirl is. Like I had a damn movie that came out in the 80s. So yeah, we know those characters because we're in America, but for you to sit up there and say people don't know who Superman is, like I'm kind of side-eyeing you with that. But I do feel like that there is truth to the fact that there is some anti-American sentiment around the world right now, and people are protesting this movie because they feel like it's a representation of America. Now, if you're talking about people don't know who this thing is, with the theme of the film being kind of like a reflection, even though he says it's not about Israel and Palestine and stuff, even though that is kind of like it mirrors that. So why would you even put that theme in your film if you feel like they don't know who a lot of these people around the world wouldn't know who we are or who Superman is? So yeah, I'm side eyeing that. And now I was trying to see if there was anything else. No, it's basically talking about who's in the movie and all that other stuff. So as I said before, I like Superman. I thought it was a good movie. Yes, it's doing well for now domestically. We'll see if it's able to beat Man of Steel internationally. And for the record, before people even try to come for me, I will say this. I actually liked uh Man of Steel. I actually own Man of Steel, the extended version. I also own the extended version of Batman v Superman. Even though I can't stand the bitch now, because I know what she's all about, and her past and everything. I even own the first Wonder Woman. So I have been putting down coins for the Snyderverse. I own a lot of the movies and things with that, the extended versions, because I don't like if they have like a regular theatrical version. If you have things that you can just add to make the movie more palatable, then I'll sit and I'll buy that version. Just like I said, I own the 3 hour version of Doctor Sleep, which is a much better movie than the theatrical one that came out. But I actually bought both. I have the theatrical and I have the extended 3 hour one. So I like Man of Steel. I just feel like that the Snyderverse was for a specific group of people. It wasn't something that was more for a broader audience. Like when you watch something like Man of Steel, you can't really bring everybody to that film because there are certain things that will put in that movie tonally and story wise, especially with Superman killing Zod, that would rub people the wrong way. And little kids, that's not a movie that I think little kids would embrace at that time. So James Gunn's Superman works better because it reaches a far broader audience. It's just unfortunate because of the timing. I feel like the movie's not doing all that well. So that's all we have on that for now. I'll definitely be keeping up on that the box office and how well it's going to do, and if the financial overall tally when we get to the end of the road regarding Superman. But it's got time. Look, there's nothing really coming out until, I mean, they got Naked Gun coming out this week. The only thing that's about it, I've heard the movie's funny. I don't necessarily know if I want to break my neck to go see it. I might. And then hearing Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson might be hunching in real life, I'm like, okay, but you better not hurt that man because Liam is a good man, Savannah. So do right by him. I'm saying that because I met him and he's lovely. So there's that. And then next week we get Weapons. So you've got like 2 more weeks, Superman and Fantastic Four, to rank in enough money so that way we'll see how well you do until we get to the end, because who knows when they're going to release Superman on VOD or whatever the case. I don't know if they're going by that 45-day window that all the other movies are freaking doing right now. So yes, I would definitely want to hear from you. What do you guys think of this news? I don't need no infighting for the Snyder Bros and the Gunslingers. I think we should all come together in perfect harmony and love on both movies. We can like both movies and not hate on each other in regards to that, because we love the character of Superman. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. Let me know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments down below.